Y'all know what time it is. I need y'all to get real loud, real quick, for the man of the hour, recording his album for y'all tonight. His birthday's on Monday. Be extra loud. Give a special welcome to our good friend, Miles Francis.
What's up, dudes? Yo, I'm so stoked to be celebrating my birthday with y'all here tonight. The coolest part about doing this on my birthday for me is nobody expects me to drive home this evening. That is a free pass, y'all. And truthfully, I could never drive again in my entire life, and I would be completely fine with that. And the state of Texas agrees, because I keep getting into a lot of car accidents. And the worst part about getting in a car wreck is you have the same conversation with every single person you talk to. They're like, oh my God, are you okay? And all these idiots on the road nowadays. And I bet that asshole was texting and driving. Yeah. And I was. I was, dude. But I've learned my lesson with the texting and driving thing. Because honestly, it just makes the Netflix screen way too small. Can't even keep up with the plot, y'all. It is not worth it. No. I did actually quit Netflix. You can be rest assured I am not Netflix and driving. I didn't quit cold turkey, though. Like, I still have Hulu, right? I think we can all agree that Hulu is like the methadone of streaming services, right? And I like to keep Disney Plus on hand because I think of Disney Plus a lot like I think of weed. Really fun when we were kids. Now I mostly just like to have it to go to sleep at night. Truthfully, I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts when I'm driving. Got any true crime fans in the house? A couple of white women, if that makes sense. I do love true crime podcasts. By the way, if you're not familiar with true crime and you agreed to come to a basement show at 10 p.m., you might want to reconsider your life choices. I love true crime, but I'll say that true crime podcasts have become too instructional. There is not a woman alive that listens to true crime podcasts that hasn't committed at least one successful murder right up top. And sir, she is nodding awfully hard during this joke. Make good choices tonight, please. We want everybody to get home safe. No. Here's the thing, man. It's not even always the dude's fault, because there is probably somebody on a date right now tonight. And there is a guy sitting across from a woman just chewing. That was too soon. Seriously, be careful over here. Because that dude is just chewing a little bit too loudly across from her. And she's wondering, can I stab this guy with my fork without leaving any DNA evidence? And she knows the answer to that, fellas, so be careful out there. No, guys, I've actually been married for a while now, and I've yet to be murdered. Thank you. That's pretty good, right? I actually had to work through a rough patch with my wife recently. I came out to my wife as polyamorous. And she came out to me as fuck that. Sounds like a couple of you guys may have tried that one. No, my wife did actually come out to me as bisexual. And I will be honest with you guys, I was not surprised even a little bit. My first clue is she married a person that looks like me. I look like every man and every woman that's ever told you they're polyamorous. I get it, dude. No, but things are going well with my wife and I. We've been doing well. We watch a lot of movies together, which is nice, but I find that I cry a lot more now when I watch movies than I ever did when I was a kid, right? But, like, I don't cry during the movies you'd expect. Like, I'm not crying during, like, The Lion King. The other night, I cried when Daniel LaRusso won the All Valley Karate Tournament. At the end of the Karate Kid Part 3. So it sounds like a few of us shed a tear or two in the first one, right? But by the third one, he's not even an underdog at this point. He is the karate man, y'all. But I know why I cry more as an adult than I did as a kid. It's just because growing up as a guy in the 90s, you were really only allowed to have one of three feelings, right? You were allowed to feel happy, You were allowed to feel angry, or you were allowed to feel your dad's belt on the back of your ass. Hell yeah, I love when I tell that joke for a room people who are obviously beating his children. It goes over much, much better. Truth is, I actually grew up thinking that my dad was like the smartest guy in the world. Like nothing he didn't know how to fix. So when I had an outlet go out in my kitchen, I call my dad up for advice. And what he says to me is, well, son, if I was you, I'd stick a screwdriver in there and see if sparks come out. Shocked me too, dude. Yeah, worst part about that whole situation is I had to call my dad back to get advice on how to put out a fire. Sounded like a slow burn for part of the room back there, maybe. I am legitimately getting concerned, y'all, that I have a lot more residual redneck in my system than I once realized. Blow your mind real quick. I just learned something. Did y'all know that they sell ketchup? I am dead serious right now, y'all. Like, it comes in a bottle at the store and everything. My entire life, I've just been collecting packets every time I go through a McDonald's. I really am worried the residual redneck thing goes even back farther, because I spent some time with my grandparents not too long ago, and I realized that my grandparents are a little bit more racist than I remember. Some of y'all got racist grandparents. Hopefully we don't have any racist grandparents there tonight, because this part might be a little awkward for you, if I'm being honest. Now, I'll say this. First of all, I just have a really hard time connecting with my grandpa in general, because my grandpa's the type of dude that he's like always complains, like, people in your generation are always broke and sad. And I'm like, no, man, we're actually sad because we're broke. like, it's super easy to catch a big mood when you can't afford a Big Mac. You know what I mean? I was trying to explain to my grandpa the concept of living paycheck to paycheck, but it did not go well because I live late payment to late payment. Really, neither of us get it. But no, here's the thing, though, with my grandparents is they're not like, say the N-word racist, right? But they do say the blacks a little bit too casually. I was so relieved when I met their neighbors, Mr. and Mrs. Black. Yeah, a Scottish couple moved in next door, guys. Yeah. I just really wish they quit robbing my grandparents. I think all that's the reason that I find myself feeling like a Walmart person stuck in a Target world a lot. Dude, and the worst part about being a Walmart person now is we lost the one thing that we had on Target. Y'all remember 24-hour shopping? That can't be the only one, man. That's the best. How did y'all figure out that it's no longer 24 hours? Anybody, how do you realize it? Just to a locked door, as you would expect, right? Yeah, here's the thing. I went one night, and I'm the type of stoner that likes to get real high at like 2, 3 in the morning and knock out my grocery list. And the thing is, when I showed up, the doors opened. So I'm doing my thing, right? And I don't realize that I am the only person. I'm literally the only person in this store taking things off the shelf instead of putting them back on the shelf. Yeah, dude. It wasn't until it was time for me to check out, right? And I find an employee, I'm like, hey man, I'm ready to go. Do you work here? And they're like, do you not work here? Not if self-checkout doesn't count. But here's the thing. If you're going to be that high at that hour of the morning, you have to have stoner etiquette. It's just the rules, right? So if I'm that high in public at 2 in the morning, I'm not making eye contact with anybody. It is the floor and the Funyuns and nowhere in between. When I'm not, delinquenting Walmarts or doing this, I actually work at a bar in Dallas. I do a little bit of part-time bartending. Had some out-of-towners come in the other day, and I offered them our special. It was a Texas margarita with a swirl. They looked at me weird, but they agreed to try it, and then they take one sip, and they go, wow, you can barely even taste the swirl. These people thought I offered them a margarita with a mammal in it, and they still agreed to try it. Dude, I was terrified when they asked for a Moscow Mule. I'm actually a craft beer drinker. I really like craft beer a lot. I love going to like breweries and stuff. I will say though, people that have breweries like get way into themselves and like love to have their story. Have you ever like seen that? It's kind of annoying, right? Because every brewery story is the exact same. It's a couple of dudes that like beer a little bit too much, and their options were open a brewery or go to a lot of boring meetings, right? Like, I'm just saying, it's like 3 or 4 steps tops to open a brewery, and don't make yourself a hero because you don't want to make all 12 of those things, right? But I do really love craft beer, except for the names. The names are getting out of hand. It is ridiculous. It feels like my bartender and my pot dealer are in some sort of weird competition to sell me the silliest sounding shit. Dude, when I got here tonight, they offered me Sticky Icky Funkadelic. Is that an indica or an IPA? I have no idea. I mean, the answer is yes, but I have no idea what I'm ordering. I had a really weird experience trying to buy beer from my local 7-Eleven the other night. I went over there and they told me they're not allowed to sell alcohol because there's a church right across the street. That's a weird rule, right? Like, I don't like that. I think maybe the world might be a better place if churches weren't allowed to sell bullshit across the street from 7-Elevens. I'll level with you guys, that is my favorite joke. Because it either gets laughter or I might have got added to a few prayer circles, but it's a win-win regardless. Oh man, I'm actually an older millennial. I like to tell people that I was born somewhere between memes and meh. Like, one of my favorite activities in the world is to kick kids off my lawn while I enjoy a nice slice of avocado toast. That is delightful. But as an older millennial, we like to think of ourselves as like woke or whatever. We get tested on that so much, it's obnoxious. But I got tested pretty hard the other day because I was gifted a massage. And I booked this massage. I request a female masseuse, but when I get there, they only had dudes. So I had to have a conversation with myself, but I'm like, this will be fine, it's okay. Well, you know how your worst fear when you get a massage is that you might fart during it? Should not be your worst fear. Your worst fear should be that your masseuse might fart during your massage. Yeah, because here I am with my face like in the splash zone, y'all. And these are not dainty lady farts. These are booming, bellowing man farts. I can feel them moving through my body. And the worst part by far was the stench. Dude, it completely ruined the happy ending for me. Oh man, I'm actually kind of getting to an age where I'm a little bit embarrassed by some of the beliefs I used to have. I'll share with you guys, I'm so stupid, but I used to believe that gay people shouldn't have kids. And like now I can see how totally ignorant that is. Because nobody should have kids. They ruin everything, dude. There is a reason they're not allowed down here tonight. Yeah, but I do consider myself to be an LGBT ally, and that is the reason that to this day I still tell people I don't eat at Chick-fil-A. Truth is, I just cannot afford it. Yeah. Dude, for a company that doesn't believe in pride, they are pretty proud of that chicken sandwich, right? It's just dipped in pickle juice, dude. It's not that special. But where I break down once in a while is I get a craving for that Chick-fil-A sauce that I just cannot say no to. So every time I go to Chick-fil-A, I like to do my part to bring a little bit of balance to the universe, like yin to the yang or whatever. So every time I go to Chick-fil-A, I make sure to flirt with a male employee. Yeah. And guys, every once in a while, he pays. And that's my pleasure. Man, it's I think we can all agree it's been a little rough over the last few years, guys. Yeah, right? Yeah. we can all clap for that one. But no, it has been. They did something really cool though. They started a 3-digit suicide hotline, which is a wonderful idea. got off to a little bit of a rocky start, though, because they went with the number 3, 2, 1. Yeah, dude, operators got so tired of answering to dead silence. I know, right? That's horrible. I'm sure they just hung up. Okay. If we're still cringing over here, don't get mad at me. I obviously would have made the number 420, guys. It's not too late. No, actually, things are going really well for me right now. I just got a really cool gig. I got to play the dude from The Big Lebowski. Hell yeah. Weird thing, though. I got in trouble for being high on the job. Right? Like, dude, if you're not aware, Jeff Bridges is this incredible actor who is able to bring this beloved stoner character to life just by rubbing his eyeballs red in between takes. I am not that good of an actor. It was method acting for me all the way, guys. I am just so glad I wasn't playing a character into harder drugs, because nobody likes meth acting. Right? Yeah, dude. I'm actually a little bit bummed it's so hot out still, because I just learned the hard way that I have too much side boob to wear a tank top. This is not a body image issue, okay? This, I know that upsets some people sometimes. The side boob thing, not a body image issue. I do have those. Like, I've got that body dysmorphia, which means every mirror I look into is like a funhouse mirror, right? Do we have any other bulimics in the room? Probably a few more in the bathroom. Yeah. Kidding, of course, dude. But the side boob thing is not a body image issue. I am just so sick and tired of every time I go out to eat, somebody is like, ma'am, you are gonna need to cover up if you wanna dine in here. And I get it, dude, I understand. Like, depending on the angle you're getting me at right now, you're still probably trying to figure this out. I walked out of the restroom earlier, I made eye contact with a woman, and then I saw her double check to make sure she was going to the right place. I understand the situation. Dude, it's actually been really rough because I play video games online. I've been doing the VR thing, and like kids are so much meaner than the rest of you. Like kids on the VR, they tell me that my avatar makes me look trans. That's no, that is not okay. That is not cool, dude. No, we can't just blame everything on Zuckerberg, all right? I just look that way in real life. That's fine, but I gotta tell y'all right now that my digitalia is none of your business. I actually used to get bullied in real life a lot too. Probably because I look like every member of the Scooby-Doo gang, like all rolled into one. I recently donated a bunch of hair and was hoping that maybe that would fix that, but I'm basically just 20% more Velma, but the gang's still all there. I was thinking about that old saying, though. Sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I don't think the person that came up with that had a very good bully. Like, maybe it's just because I grew up fat. So sticks and stones, pew, pew, no. But words? Yo, words are the reason I'm in this basement doing whatever this is right now. Like, words stick with you is all I'm trying to say. I think maybe we should update that saying. I want to propose cuts and wounds will heal eventually. The real pain's the cost of therapy. I've been trying to make changes because I've been gaining weight, which is a bummer because the curvier that I get, the more often I get confused as a lesbian. It's just a whole new demographic of women for me to disappoint y'all. And the worst part, like regardless if people think I am a dude or a lesbian, they always have this weird expectation that I'm gonna know how to fix stuff. Guys, my whole garage situation is just a shoebox full of those little wrenches that come with IKEA furniture, yeah? And that shoebox is right next to all of my wife's tools, which was my second clue that she was bisexual. I've been trying to diet a little bit. My biggest issue on that is I just don't understand it. Like my idea of low carb is when I switch from bagel bites to pizza rolls. Nothing. I am like 75% keto at this point, though. Yeah, that's pretty good, right? Specifically, the Edo part is what I have got down. Not that hard. But that's why I look like the lead singer of like a hair band if I was addicted to Hot Pockets instead of heroin. And I know the culprit too. That's the worst part. Is the culprit sits on my counter in my kitchen at home. It is my air fryer. Air fryer, people. Yeah, I call mine my food vape. Yeah, but now my cholesterol is as high as I am, guys. It is a problem. I've also been exercising. I've been trying to do some swimming laps. But the other day, I went swimming and a very pregnant woman got in the lane next to me, and she told me that she was there to swim out the baby. I'll be real, you guys are handling this better than I did. I was disgusted, y'all. So I did what any responsible comedian would do in this situation. I kept my mouth shut, but I went home and I tweeted about it. And I got destroyed, y'all. I got lit up in the comments. Women were saying things to me like, you're very immature and you don't know how a woman's body works. And yeah, probably, but I am not immature because I think it is in poor taste for a woman to poop out her placenta in a public pool. No. I'm immature because I don't feel guilty at all that I peed in that pool. It really is great being here with you all tonight, man. Probably just because I've been spending way too much time with my family. But I do know the secret to that. If you don't know it, the key to awkward family visits is edibles. Some of you have heard of this, yeah. If you haven't, I'm going to explain real quick, because if you're having an awkward family gathering, just eat a pot cookie and see how much better your situation gets. Or, better yet, say there's one member of your family who's just like driving you up the wall. Give them that pot cookie. Sounds like some of you may have tried this. That's gonna 180 your visit immediately, I assure you. But you're gonna have to be prepared to answer some awkward questions from the rest of the family, because they're probably gonna say things like, why has Grandma been sleeping like a rock for the last 4 hours? Guess that's why they call it stoned? Wait a second. Grandma was awfully giggly at lunch earlier. Just in real high spirits, I guess. Damn it, son, what do you know? Guys, chill, relax, get off my back. Have a cookie. Oh, man, I had a weird day, y'all. I got hit by a car while I was on my skateboard today by an old lady. And the weird thing is, like, she started to get, like, more freaked out about it than I was. And she was, like, trying to get, like, call an ambulance, the police or whatever. And what I realized is the amount of pain that I'm willing to tolerate in any given situation is very equated to the amount of weed I have in my pocket at that time. And this one hurt, y'all. But she's like starting to freak out on me a little bit. She's like, I'm having to like calm her down, weird role reversal thing. But it was cool because I ended up selling her an eighth. So, all's well that ends well. I really do need to be careful, make some changes, because I just recently lost my health insurance. It wasn't taken from me. I just did the math, and it's cheaper for me to get prescriptions from my drug dealer. Yeah, that's really embarrassing, though, to be honest, because, like, really, it's already kind of nerdy if you are just buying weed from, like, a real drug dealer. Like, they're offering you all sorts of cool stuff, and you're like, I'll take one marijuana, please. It's even worse when I go and be like, hey, man, do you have anything that'll clear up these allergies? And I'm not really sure what he gave me, but I have not slept in 3 days. I think the whole weed situation in Texas is getting really weird, to be honest. Like, it's in a weird gray area now. But I think we have a last-minute opportunity in our hands, y'all. You remember when weed was first legalized and people would, like, vacation to California and Colorado to, like, weed tourism? Dude, you could come to Texas to feel like a badass again just by smoking a joint out back right now, right? Like, we could all be worried that's a cop about to come around the corner. It would be like if you could go... It'd be like if you could go back in time and get drunk in the club before you were 21, like washing the X's off in the bath. Everybody remember how much fun that was? Or maybe some of you, it'd be like if you go back in time and smoke meth with a full mouth of teeth. Meth crowd, noted. I do like a lot about Texas, but one thing I don't love about Texas is the allergies, man. I am allergic to everything here, dude. It's not like seasonal allergies for me. It's like every season allergies for me. It's awful. But the coolest part about having allergies is getting to use my neti pot. Neti pot, people? Yeah, if not, I'm about to convert you. I consider my neti pot to be like masturbation for my face. Hear me out on this one, guys. I usually do it alone, in the shower. Works really, feels really good, and it works best with a finger in your ass. Guys, I go by Mr. Most Days Off online if you want to follow me. Mr. Most Days Off is honestly just a really fun way of saying unemployed. On that note, I also sell stickers after the show. Honestly, if you want one, I will just give you one, or like you can give me like a high five for one, or maybe like an actual 5 for one. Some of us can probably work out a 4 for 20 deal. You know who you are. This has been fun, man. You want to go karaoke after this? Woo! Okay, at least one other attention seeker. That tracks. No, I love karaoke. I love karaoke, but even if you don't love karaoke like I love karaoke, we can all agree that karaoke makes a fantastic sobriety check. Yeah. You can tell where you have been, you can tell where you are at in your evening based on the songs that you are choosing to sing, y'all. Because early in the night, we're probably going to get a lot of like, bop, doo, bop, bop, doo, bop. We're not going to forget that. We're good, right? But here's the thing, as the alcohol starts flowing and the confidence starts rising, the next thing you might be doing is taking the stage and suddenly, it's been 1 week since you looked at me, caught you the sign, said I'm angry. You hit every word. The Bare Naked Ladies don't even know every word of that song, but your drunk ass does. And that is where you've hit the danger zone, y'all. Because in round 3, alcohol keeps flowing, you take the stage, and you might be wondering to yourself, maybe I should try a rap song. I'll say this, guys, there are very few rap songs that work for karaoke in general. Way less so if you look like me. And if Ice Ice Baby has already been taken, you are not talented enough to cover Eminem, so all the fake Slim Shadys, please just stay seated. Guys, I have been smoking weed now for about 20 years. I know what most of you are probably thinking, duh. But when I say I've been smoking for 20 years, I don't mean like casually off and on. I mean like, I'm pretty sure I've been stoned now for the last 2 decades straight. And y'all, I'm in my 30s now. Like, I am way past the point of like experimentation. I can tell sobriety is just not for me. I'm not even gonna try it. I do have my limits though. Do we have anybody here that's into the dabs, the concentrated weed? One brave soul and a bunch of cowards, cool. Now, honestly, I'll be the dab thing. I mean, if that's your thing, cool. But that feels too much like doing drugs to me, right? Like. You've got to have like a blowtorch and like your own special contraption. Dude, if you need a blowtorch to get high on pot, you've made some mistake somewhere along the way. But I am not here to judge. Like, that's not what this is coming from at all. And in fact, I'm not sure when this happened, but at some point, weed went from being the drug to being the thing that I use to keep myself grounded when I'm on drugs. It used to be like my friends and I'd like roll up a joint, smoke, listen to some music, and be like, oh man, look at all the pretty colors. And now it's more like, holy shit, the walls are melting. So yeah, I think we should legalize weed. I thought it just might be me. Cool. No, I do. I think we should legalize weed, obviously, man. But I will also say that dispensaries have made potheads a little bit too bougie. Yeah. I'll give you an example, y'all. I was smoking a joint the other day in a parking garage underneath a stairwell with some strangers, as you do. And I passed this joint to this woman that I do not know. And she looks me dead in the eyes and she goes, is that an indica or a sativa? Ma'am, we're in a parking garage right now. That is some weed right there. Like, smoke it or don't. I don't care, because the only thing going through my mind in this moment is it gonna make it back around to me? If you have been smoking long enough, though, you know that they're not all good times in the parking garage. The paranoia can be very, very real. I was actually hanging out with some friends earlier here across town, and they told me they have their own like little parking garage situation. It can be tough to navigate. I was like, whatever, I can drive, it's fine. Well, we go, I park, we hang out, smoke for a little bit, it gets time to leave. That parking garage had shrunk, y'all, like, significantly. And I'm basically having to like get out of my car like every few inches to make sure I'm not like about to back into something, right? And like I literally get myself into that like Austin Powers like golf cart in a hallway situation, like I'm like literally going nowhere fast and I'm starting to freak out about it. Like I'm like, oh my God, somebody that lives here is gonna get home and they're gonna be so mad and we'll be the reason. But then like another 10 minutes goes by, I'm like, fuck that. I need somebody that lives here to help me out of this situation because I am not capable of doing it myself. And I actually had to grab an Uber over here, so if somebody could give me a ride after the show, I'd really, really appreciate it. I really am just gonna tell one or two more and we'll go smoke some Disney Plus and call it a night, I think, guys. I really love live music. I love live music, but every time I go and see a band, I always have the same thought. Because I'll watch the bass player and I'll think to myself, I could do that. Exactly. 100%, right? Every other member of the band pours their heart and soul out all night long. And then there's the fucking bass player. Guys, all I'm saying is if bass players were any lazier of artists, they'd be doing stand-up comedy. My name is Miles Francis. Thank you guys so much.
Francis, everybody!
I need somebody who lives here to help me out of this situation right now, because I am not going to be able to handle it on my own. And I actually had to grab an Uber over here, so if anybody wants to help me get a ride at the end, I really appreciate it. Yeah, dude, that joke works better in Dallas. I hope the fact that most of this is not based in reality doesn't ruin the show for me. Honestly.